Michael Hancock, the Broncos' most experienced patron, done some remarkable work. He does it very much in communication as well. Wayne Bennett paid credit to him when the Broncos were going through some tough periods early last season. Said that he was there to spur the guys on, and a lot of them went searching for other theories.
We're underway at Campbelltown, round 1 of the NRL. The referee is Paul Simpkins, the video referee, John Gosha. The roar of the crowd as Larry goes in with the first hit on Webke. Expect plenty of that in the opening minutes. Penalty, though. They were enthusiastic early on, the West Tigers. The penalty goes to Brisbane.
Put it onside. I think he's offside.
And so Ben Walker comes up to settle things down. He'll find touch 10 from halfway. Pritis gives it straight out to Sivana Siva. He's taken by Tyron Smith and also his Kiwi teammate Lowry. Again, big defence. That's the halfway mark. Gordon Tallis. Inside West Tigers territory now. No nonsense opening set here by the Broncos. Again, Webke is hit hard. And now it's Walker. Just nudging it down into the corner. Getting back there is John Carlaw for the West Tigers. A very good chase as well.
You're going to have to chase well all afternoon. They're putting plenty of pressure on the Broncos kickers. Ben Walker got bowled over after he kicked the ball. Obviously, emotion still playing a huge part and will do for quite some time. Very important, though, that they remember they can't afford to give away penalties.
Going wide early on as the West Tigers, and now Terry Hill gets the fin going back on the inside. Hapawadi, a couple to beat. The big man charging upfield, looking for support. It didn't arrive in time. It was on his left. He can only pass to the right. Now they switch it across to the left. Now Walker linking up. He brings Kane in from fullback. Kane, he's only about 12 metres out from the line. The West Tigers on a real roll now. Final tackle coming up. This is Walker trying to charge his way across the line. The Broncos get back and scramble in defence. And they come up empty-handed, the West Tigers. But Steve, what a performance by the locals.
Great work there by the West Tigers there. Great field getting the ball out wide to Terry Hill. It certainly was a planned move. Sometimes it's the best time to attack is in your own 20 metres, and we saw the West Tigers take the ball right down the other end of the field.
So now Brisbane running it out of their own 22 again. Tellis wrapped up ball and all there by Kevin McGuinness. Campion. Plenty of enthusiasm being shown by the West Tigers on debut, and this is Webke firing it out to Sivana Siva, turning in the tackle almost to the 30. Centre field. Thorne. Well, he's got him for a high shot.
Regardless, mate, got the head, okay? Down below the shoulder. Still got the head. Collected his chin.
Well, this is an area of the game the Tigers have got to be a little bit careful of. We'll keep mentioning the word emotion. The referee's had 3 chats on the run so far to one player in particular. Just got to make sure they keep their mind.
Oh, big defence again. Great shot on Webke. But it's still the Broncos in possession. To the right they go. Kevy Walters. Nobody at home at the back. Saylor is running through. Carlaw getting back there. Saylor with a good chase will claim him in the in-goal area. So we'll have the restart from between the sticks. Good thinking by Kevy on that occasion. Nobody at the back.
Good thinking and good planning. And Steve Mortimer, when you've got such aggressive defence as what the Tigers are showing at the moment, the best thing is to turn them around. They're racing up in your face.
You're right, Wally. That was a beautiful kick by Kevy Walters. And, of course, a kick is only as good as its chase. And Wendell Saylor right on the spot there.
A couple of the players getting back fairly leisurely. Although it's probably 10 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. The speed of the game in the first 4 minutes. There's a couple of them reaching for those extra stretches of the lungs.
So 0-0 here at Campbelltown. The Brisbane Broncos have enjoyed plenty of possession in the opening 5 minutes of the match. Pritis to the left he goes. Ed Webke takes him on. Good strong run, but again he's met by plenty of West Tigers defenders. Now it's Ben Walker. to Campion. Lockyer is up from fullback. Lockyer with the dummy. Try-saving tackle back there. Only a couple of metres out now. It had try written all over it. But desperate defence by the West Tigers. Walters turns it back now to Tallis. In front of the sticks, he's about 12 metres out. Eventually put to the ground. Prentice dummying. Almost through the tackle. But Mark Stimson just manages to hold on with Joel Kane. Ben Walker puts it on the ground, but he kicked it into the legs of one of the West Tigers players. It was Owen Craigie, the former Newcastle Knight, and now it's Carlaw. John Carlaw, 10 metres out from the line. Darren Centre, another look at the replay there. Very close indeed. Field. Hill again. Full of running. Terry Hill early on. Hancock has him though. Michael De Vere helping out as well. Hopewadi to Craig Field. And now the captain, Jared McCracken. Met in a good ball and all tackle by Webke. McCracken all over the top of Webke as he tries to get up and play the ball. Now it's Field kicking downfield. Good fingertip control by Lockyer, his champion fullback. He gives it to Michael Hancock. Hancock on Hopewadi. What a battle that's going to be. Hancock taken there by McCracken. And then Centre coming in. They go wide now. Over the top of Eichen, who hasn't really seen any possession yet. Saylor just couldn't offload. Up to the 30, still in the Brisbane territory though. Campion will play it now. Seven Asiva filling the role that we've seen Andrew G perform over so many years.
And it's a very important hole that he's got a plug there. Wayne Bennett paid enormous credit year after year to G, and he's stabilising work.
Good pass back on the inside from Kevin Walters to Eichen. They keep it alive. Was that pass forward? The crowd said yes. The referee said no. And there's the first four-pointer of the match. The first try of the season for the Brisbane Broncos.
Oh, he's called. Now, this is something that's going to be very important in this match. Now, the referee, gee, I don't know how he's done this. Obviously just checking with the touch judges. One of them seemed to claim that there was some problem with it at that stage. The ref looked like he was in pretty good shape to call it. He went back to the touch judge, I think, who said maybe go to the touch judge, video replay. And Turvey, I think on every try this year, if there's anything suspicious, you've got to go to the video replay just to make sure.
And I thought exactly that's what he was going. That pass there, Wally, the West Tigers supporters.
The ref was right in line with it though. It looked to me like it was forward. The referee judged though that it wasn't. Maybe it's the angle, but gee, on the replay and at normal speed, it certainly seemed like it may have floated forward a bit. Wally
looking at this great hand passing there, and Kevin Walters flicking the ball back and keeping the ball alive. Great support here by the Broncos. It's that pass there by young Ben Walker, and the referee, I think, he's called for the video referee, and the video referee said, it's your call, ref. And I think he said, well, it's okay for me.
Well, some controversy, but you've got to say that the referee was in absolutely perfect position to make judgment over it. Gee, I've got to say I agree with the crowd here. I don't think that happens too much. That I thought that the ball may have wandered forward a little bit. The defence stretched a little bit too much. The Broncos, they are very good with their slide defence. It may take the Tigers a little while longer to slide into theirs. Owen Craigie was the man that just dropped off a little bit in these attempts to get across.
So Ben Walker trying to add the extra two from right in front. The flags are up 6 points to 0. The Brisbane Broncos over the West Tigers. Controversial try. They'll be talking about this one out Campbelltown way for a while. Here's the pass here.
Gee, maybe on that angle it almost looks flat. But a directive that was mentioned, well, on that one it doesn't look too bad, does it? Maybe I've got 3 feet in my mouth there. But the referee's boss spoke to us yesterday and said that they believe as long as the first direction that the ball travels is backwards or at least directly flat, they're going to let it go.
We'll call it a line ball. The points are on the board though, 6-0 as the West Tigers restart. And that's what the Brisbane Broncos can do to you. You can be all up in their face, but they can turn it very, very quickly. There's a knock-off. The referee says it travelled forward initially. was a great hit.
Well, maybe it's just touched one of the Tigers players before it went backward. Certainly great contact made.
A great opportunity for the West Tigers to hit back down Terry Hill. The Broncos defence swarming in on him. 20 metres out from the line as Field moves into acting half, and now it's Tyron Smith, the Kiwi international, 7 tests beside his name. Lowry. Straight ahead, 10 metres out. Options either side now for the West Tigers, and Field wants to work it to the right, turns it back on the inside. They were waiting for the fullback Joel Kane though. Centre gives it to Field. Wide they go. Oh, great defence again. They moved up on Craigie, who can be so dangerous that close to the line. There's the kick, not a bad one. Into the in goal it goes. Who wants it? It's lying loose on the ground. It's been picked up by the West Tigers, and they have got it. He's going to go to the video referee.
Got a first shot.
But they reckon the big John Scandala's got there first. They're celebrating the West Tigers. We'll have to confirm it via the video referee. No doubt about the body language, though. Scandala says it's a fair try.
And I agree with the crowd here. I think the ball has been propelled backwards. I think it came off the chest of Kevin Walters. He looked like he had it coming straight down. Certainly no problem with any of the players being offside. All well and truly behind the kicker. Perfectly placed bomb. Kevin Walters, the man that went into the air, he propelled it backwards, straight into the hands, touchdown. The first points, his name will go into the books. The first try score. Oh, well, has he put it down at the bottom, Turvey?
I think he might have.
Oh, gee, the body language there wasn't good. The first thing he did was he turned to look at the referee. Whoops, did you see that? Nothing else wrong with it whatsoever.
Well, could I suggest it's good enough for a try? Now, this will tell us.
He hasn't taken his eyes off the board yet.
Off Kevy Walters.
He went through his hands back into Kev.
Yeah. Oh. The West Tigers are back lining up for the restart. It's touch and go. They may have to make the trek back upfield.
I think he did lose that ball just before it touched the ground.
Well, this is what the video referee is for. The technology can work it out for you, and on that angle, it's not looking good for the West Tigers. How they picked it in the old days, I don't know.
Well, in the old days, I think they'd already be on the way back to the line, the Broncos, for the kickoff.
Oh, they've given it a try. So the referee and the video referee working that one out between them. They have adjudged that there was enough downward pressure. The body language on the Brisbane Broncos suggests otherwise. What a start to the NRL.
Well, this is a wonderfully weighted kick by Craig Field, nice and high, up there to compete for it. Bit of controversy there, but Scandalis was given the 4 points. But Wally, you've got to go back to when they kicked off. The try goes back to that first tackle by the West Tigers on the Broncos. They coughed up possession.
Well, there's no way in the world he had control of that football. He dropped it. But I think you can officially say that that ball there might be, or the try, may be called a square-up.
Well, it's 6-all after Joel Kane added the extra 2. They were talking about maybe having some problems with their goal kicking the West Tigers, but from close range like that, Joel Kane is more than capable. So we're hearing that the video referee has adjudged that his left arm was still on the ball when he placed it. And a mistake here by the Broncos from the restart. Out on the full, 6-all at Campbelltown. Well, it's early days, so I suppose you can expect things to go against the plan from time to time. But that's pretty basic, an error like that from the restart.
Greg, it'll be very interesting this set of 6 where Terry Hill will place himself. Expect him to figure a prominent part in tackles 4 or 5 in this set of 6.
Well, good field position for the West Tigers to mount another charge here. Lowry. Somehow he got free of those tacklers and was ready to offload, but the support wasn't there. The try scorer, Scandalis now. 21 metres out. Here's Field. And Lowry again. This time he pops it up, but it comes away in the hands of Darren Centre. So the Broncos touched it. The tackle count restarting. McCracken now. Field to Scandalis. Penalty. Brad Thorne thinking that he was getting up to have another attempt. The referee saying there was tackle on the first occasion, so an opportunity here for Joel Kane to kick for goal.
Well, Brad Thorne saying that his teammate didn't have a hand on the tackle, but obviously the referee had called play it. No doubt whatsoever as to his choice. Another 2 points about to be added. They've shown exactly how much emotion's playing a part in their performance so far.
Wally and Steve, he's got the kicking tee out there, but there's plenty of sand if he runs short.
You would think the ground would be in better condition for the first game of the season, wouldn't it?
A real shame for some people who've worked tirelessly to get the joint venture off the ground and also to get the stadium in top shape. The grass hasn't played its part. .26 minutes to go in the first half, round one. No mistake. The flags go up. The radar still working for Kane as Joel Kane is keeping Matt Sears out of the #1 West Tigers jersey early on in the year. They lead by 8 points to 6. It was very important for them to be competitive, and they've shown their fans that have turned up here today that they can be competitive. So far so good for the West Tigers with this Brisbane Broncos team. Won't make the same mistake twice from the restart. They've had the better of the possession, the West Tigers. Brisbane playing a lot of the game in their own half after the opening minutes when they were able to mount a big challenge on the other end of the park. So Walker now plays it back to centre. Now this is Field. Field kicking. Lockyer running across. And it's into touch.
Well, the ball bouncing nicely towards the sideline. The crowd appreciating it, but I don't think it's exactly what Craig Field had in mind. Heard the referee call in the back play. It's inside the 40. He was looking for the ball to just bounce straight on. Wasn't too far away from its intended target.
He's had a pretty good game, Craig Field, up to date. He's given a good service to his backs. There's been a great link between his forwards and his backs, and the West Tigers are really sort of coming back at the Broncos.
Thorne standing out of that scrum, the big second rower. Michael Devere to play it. To the short side, they work it again. It's Ben Eichen making his Brisbane Broncos debut today. That's the halfway mark.
First touch for Harvey Howard against his former club.
Yes, a big moment for Harvey, a Great Britain international. Now Kane with a bit of work to do to get it out of the goal. He just manages to do it before the chasers arrive. It was Kevin Walters. Now this is Carlaw. And he's taken there ball and all by Howard. And also Webke. Papawati. On Bullocky run early on from Big John. Starved of possession since then. To the short side they go. This is Tyron Smith.
Roll away, Wendell, roll away.
Good one-handed pass. Out to field. And now Hopewadi. Taken by Devere. They're prepared to go wide. With every opportunity, the West Tigers utilising Terry Hill in the centres and Hopewadi on the wing. Now it's Lockyer. Out to Hancock. Got away from Terry Hill, but ran straight into three of them, and now Hill comes back to lend a hand as well. At one stage, there were 4 West Tigers defenders on Hancock. Webke just evaded the shoulder charge.
If that made contact, he would be sent off and suspended for 10 weeks.
Lockyer to Wendell Saylor. Turning Carlo inside and out. But Kevin McGuinness got across there. Let's have a look at the Jared McCracken attempted shoulder.
That's an elbow.
That's very close to the head of Webke.
He's very lucky, Wally.
Yeah, well, I think he can book him a spot Tuesday night.
Michael DeVere now. Hancock moves into dummy half and gives it to Harvey Howard. He knows this ground, this territory pretty well. Ben Walker, he goes to the air, kicking for Wendell Saylor's wing, and Carlo leaps up and takes it brilliantly. Fine take, John Carlo.
Well, that's a great take under pressure by John Carlo. Wendell Saylor coming right down on it, great take. Here he is there, under pressure, Wendell Saylor, right in his face. Well done, John Carlo.
Brisbane inside the 10, penalty to the West Tigers. And centre tries to catch him napping. Makes it to the halfway mark. Big John Scandalis. Taken by Gordon Tallis and also Ben Walker. Centre trying to skirt out of dummy half. Tallis was waiting for him. 8 points to 6. The West Tigers over the Brisbane Broncos. (17) for West Tigers is Mark O'Neill. Walker turning, giving it to Field, and out now to Craigie. Craigie to Carlo. Carlo cutting back on the angle run infield. Into the traffic though. Now it's Field. Stepping away from one. That looked to be a forward pass. It's play on though, and the Broncos come up with it anyway. Diving on it there is Philip Lee. Lee across now to his captain. Back on the inside is Harvey Howard. No, it's Tony Carroll out there as well. Plenty of players off the bench. And Carroll again inside West Tigers territory as Pritters waits for it at dummy half. Switch of play. This is Lockyer. That's a dangerous player. Trying to hit the gap, but it's soon closed. Back on the inside they go again. Philip Lee will play it. 30 metres out for the West Tigers line. Final tackle coming up for the Brisbane Broncos, and Ben Walker will go to the air. Gives it plenty of air, in fact. Hancock running through on Hopewadi, but Big John stands his ground and takes it well.
Yeah, both wingers have been exceptional. The pressure under the high ball. Here's an opportunity.
A breakout here. Lockyer coming across. Takes his opposite number, Joel Kane, but good thinking, quick thinking by the West Tigers. A couple of metres inside Brisbane territory. The Broncos taking plenty of time to get back their 10 metres. Now it's Field. Field linking up with Kevin McGuinness and Craigie now. But they scramble well, the Broncos, don't they? 3 of them across there to shut the movement down. Field, and now Lowry. Plenty of ball movement, but not really going anywhere. But now Terry Hill puts the foot on the gas. Thrown into the turf. 20 metres out from the line. He'll be forced to play it now. Hopewadi out to Field. Field. That's Shane Walker out the back door. The bounce, who wants it? It's picked up over there on the far side. And Craigie turns it back inside to Carlo. It was touched by one of the Broncos and went into touch.
And it was Ben Ike, the man that came up with it. He did pretty well because he got up off the floor. There's the inside ball that went from Craigie. No doubt as the Broncos were carrying it, or propelled it forward towards the line. Where was the last touch though? Was it taken by Craigie or not? The discussion between the touch judge and referee at the moment.
Can you get my sound turned up?
The broken field running, that's the thing that's causing a lot of problems for the Broncos defence. The Tigers doing it magnificently. Their angled runs have been first class.
Well, I've been so impressed with the West Tigers. Their completions, they're using the ball well, they're holding the ball, they're making every advantage of using the 6 tackles, and Craig Field steering them around very well in that ruck area.
We've got our 60-second break.
Yes,
going
the
on
drinks
here
break.
at the moment.
Yeah, this is going to happen in the early rounds of the NRL. So an opportunity to reflect on the first 20 minutes or so of football by the West Tigers. They lead by 8 points to 6. 2 controversial tries so far in the match. It's 1 each. The difference being that penalty by Joel Kane. This is the Brisbane Broncos try here, Wally and Steve, and the crowd thought it was forward, and I think quite a few other people up in the media stands also thought it was forward, but on 1 or 2 angles it looked like a line ball, and the referee checked with the touch judge.
Well, the way the referee was there, Steve, it's the thing that confused me.
Well, you called it, I thought it was forward too, but you said the referee was there, and I'm sure he went to the video referee and said, it's your call. So he said, well, let's play on, it's a fair try. Great back up to, by the way, to Kevin Campion.
There was a reply, though, from the West Tigers in the 10th minute. A dodgy put down, but it was also awarded. And now it's Terry Hill. So they've given the feed into the scrum to the West Tigers, saying that previous ball came off a Brisbane Bronco. To the short side they go. This is Craigie trying to dance his way through. He can't get past De Villa. And also on there in the 15 jersey is Shane Walker for the Brisbane Broncos. McGuinness gives it out to his captain, McCracken. McCracken is only a couple of metres out from the line. Field standing out in the centres. Picking up some strong running out there. That was Joel Kane, but great defence again by the Broncos. Field, they've knocked it on. Just trying to rush things a little bit there, but it was good pressure by the Broncos.
2 exceptional efforts from Wendell Saylor. The Broncos' resources were stretched to the limit. The Tigers shifted the ball to their left-hand side. Saylor came in. That wasn't his man. He should have stuck with the winger. I'm glad his coach did. Saylor raced from marker, put a little bit of pressure on the dummy half, with the man that was the intended ball receiver took a bit of a bo peep at Wendell's work from dummy half.
De Villa. Hill over the top, Lowry underneath. Now Hancock. He looks up and there's a wall of black and gold jumpers in front of him. Sivanasiva.
Wally, I'm just so impressed with the defence of both sides. They are winning to play the ball. The West Tigers standing right up to the Broncos in that play the ball area.
Yeah, they're certainly not going to take a backward step, nor would you expect that they would. They believe that they're a genuine threat to knocking over Brisbane here this evening. And the way that they're playing after a quarter of this match is finished, you've got to say that they've matched Brisbane in everything that they've done so far.
So John Carlo will play it 10 metres out from his own line. 16 is Steve Georgalis. But now this is Adam Nabel. Met by a solid tackle coming in from Tony Carroll. And also Philip Lee. Hopewadi in from the wing, just looking to relieve the forwards. And he got away from 3 of them. What a handful. And a fine start to the season so far by Hopewadi. Now it's Field, who's been dictating play very well in the halfback role for the West Tigers. It's a pretty good bounce there, and well, he's going to have to play at this one, Lockyer. But a great return of the football. He'll play it 10 out from his own line as Brad Thorne runs into acting half, and he runs straight into his opposite number, Jared McCracken.
Well, Darren Lockyer there obviously trying to get his foot over the line, but the ball was not close enough to the line, so he had to run the ball out.
He's pretty cool under pressure nowadays, though, Lockyer, isn't he? Sivanasiva, big, strong, running front rower, filling the shoes of Andrew G. Shane Walker. That's the Shane Walker from the Brisbane Broncos. So we've got 2 Shane Walkers on the field out there. Will they meet head on? Kane. Keeping Matt Sears out, but he's had a fine opening to this match, Joel Kane.
There's been a lot of talk about Joel Kane and Matt Sears, who'd get the #1 spot, and Joel Kane's justifying his position as the #1 jersey, as we see a great run there by Terry Hill.
The referee heard the crowd roaring. He looked across, spotted the Broncos holding the player down in the penalty.
Sorry, Greg, there's no doubt that the players are holding down their opponents too long. They've got to remember it's got to go both sides. I think that you can't blame players for trying to slow the pace of this game as much as they possibly can. It's the only thing that seems to be restricting what's a fine game of football so far. You wouldn't expect it either side to be taking so many chances. They haven't come up with too many errors so far.
So Skandalis putting them in a very good attacking position. Switch of play from Lowry back to McCracken. Adam Nabel, a dummy half to Field. Cross field they go. Double round now with Field. Field links up with Carlaw. He comes back on the inside, but he's claimed there by Ben Eichen. 17 is Mark O'Neill. He's only about 5 or 6 metres out before he's driven back by 3 Broncos defenders. West Tigers, they lead Brisbane by 8 points to 6. First half action in round 1 of the NRL. And now Craigie is it? No, in fact, Kevin McGuinness it was. Field with the grubber kick. Off the uprights. Well, Lockyer, in the end, wasn't going to mess around with it.
Well, he had no alternative, Darren Lockyer. You can see Craig Field, hear his footsteps behind him there. Nice little grubber there by Craig Field, and Darren Lockyer could hear Craig Field on his shoulders, so he elected, oh, I better kick that out.
Very important to the Tigers now. Keep this pressure on Brisbane. They don't have to score off the next set of 6. They can simply work it away, give themselves another chance. They don't throw away opportunities like this.
Hopoati stands in the tackle. Eventually thrown into that mixture of sand and turf out there. Centre field, 32 metres out. Plenty of possession for the West Tigers, but they only lead by 2. Good strong running from Mark O'Neill. Got the pass back, and now it's George Jarlis. Stepping, trying to link up, dummying, back to field, flat-footed, starts again. They're going nowhere. It's lacking a bit of organisation on that occasion. Now it is Field, and he gives it to George Jarlis. He's 10 metres out from the line. Still tackles remaining. Kevin McGuinness to Terry Hill. 3 of them put him to ground. Final tackle coming up. Field. He goes to the air this time. Handball back. Picked up by the Broncos. It's play on. And now the Broncos get an opportunity just to settle things down. They've been starved of possession recently. They're down by 2. It's the West Tigers leading 8 points to 6.
And you've got to put it down to the West Tigers' possession.
For a moment, there was a half break there from Darren Lockyer, who incidentally is playing his 100th match today for the Brisbane Broncos. Congratulations to him for that milestone. Still, Darren Lockyer, only 22 years of age, and they're 12 metres from halfway, the Broncos.
Really important they stabilise in this set of 6, the Broncos. They've just got to make sure that they take one, kick to a corner, and put some real pressure on the West Tigers. Keep them down this end of the field for a while.
Good strong run from Harvey Howard, pops it back, but the support wasn't there. It went to ground, and Skandalis diving upon that one. Craig Field. Out to the support. The completion rate pretty good by the West Tigers. Nothing wrong with that completion rate for Brisbane either, but they just haven't had enough opportunities to complete their set of 6. The possession certainly going the way of the West Tigers. The errors, 3-2. Pretty good for the first round of football. And Lowry, about 5 or 6 metres inside Brisbane territory. Nabel gives it to McCracken. Straight ahead goes the captain. 31 metres out from the line. Mistake there, that's a knock on.
Oh, that really is a shame, Greg. The way that they'd managed to turn Brisbane right around and take them back. An inspirational run from McCracken, leading from the front. Just a little bit of a tip. Noble planning it a little bit early. They certainly have got the Broncos on 10 hooks at the moment. Not too many people rushing for the scrum, is it? I think both teams are fairly happy.
I think the Broncos are tired, Wally, from doing all the tackling. The West Tigers have really sort of made value with their possession.
Well, Lockyer to Wyken. And Wendell Saylor, for a moment, looked like it was a great take by Saylor under extremely difficult conditions, but in the end, it was adjudged to have knocked it on.
To me, it looked like Wendell Saylor was expecting a cutout pass straight across the face of Ben Iken. Tended to get himself a little bit too far in front. Well, they're going to find it pretty tough if they keep handing over possession before they've had one tackle.
Field and McGuinness. It's Kevin McGuinness. His brother Ken is also on the bench for the West Tigers today. Tyron Smith. Scandalis with strong running, makes it to the 20. Field to McCracken. Inside that red zone of the Brisbane Broncos, right in front of the uprights. Darren Centre, he's had a breather on the interchange bench, back out there now, skirting out a dummy half, final tackle coming up. Can the Broncos hold them out yet again? Field, grubber kick in behind the line, brilliantly picked up by Lockyer. Great skill by the fullback.
Yeah, wonderful positional play from Lockyer. He started it out behind the ruck, kept his eye on where Field was. He knew that there was no way in the world he could get to the other side of the field to cover the cross-field kick.
Yeah, he's worked overtime, Darren Lockyer. He's had a great game. Nice little grubber there by Craig Field. He's brought the ball back out again. He's worked absolutely overtime, doing everything, Darren Lockyer, playing very well.
To the short side they go. This is Shane Walker. They're objecting to the tackle from Kevin McGuinness there. The touch judge is on.
Well, I don't think the referee or the touch judge has seen it, so this could end up being a scrum. Well, now he's called it.
No, hang on. Listen to it. 6.
Now, I didn't see anything wrong with the tackle from number 6, but number 7 came in and wanted to get involved and start something out of it, and then 6 went to retaliate.
All right. Okay, you've heard what it is. You've lost the possession now. We're going to the scrum, all right? Goes to the scrum. Comes it in.
He called it, Wally.
I can't understand, though, why the touch judges ran in calling number 6, you come here, and then pointed to number 6. Why bring him in if he wasn't the one that started it? He had no problem. The tackle did go a little bit high. Accidental, you've got to say that. The Broncos have got up, wanted to carry on with it, thrown the ball down. That's a cardinal sin. You don't throw possession away.
Walk it in.
Looked like he was sticking up for his brother, Ben Morgan, for shame.
Well, another opportunity for the West Tigers. And Terry Hill just losing the footing a little bit on the sand patch out there. McGuinness to Georgalis. 20 metres out from the line. Tyron Smith to the short side. Centre waiting for it. Georgalis to Craig Field. Field, dummying, almost through. Linking up now with Stimson. Kane, Joel Kane is in. At long last, they've had so much possession. It came from a Brisbane Broncos mistakes and ill discipline. And so, Kane gets the 4-pointer for the West Tigers. The crowd are delighted here. It's West 12, Brisbane 6.
Well, they're working their angles perfectly. Just have a look at the first 2 passes. They're covering an enormous amount of ground. That's put them in the back and the centre of the field. You can see the Broncos defence at the moment. They're standing there, not knowing what to do. They had an abundance of defenders being able to get across there, Steve. Not good enough.
Great work there by Steve Georgalis. Craigfield ducks under, and he's able to keep the ball alive. And who's there but big Mark Stimson? And of course, you've got to back up in rugby league. And there's Joel Kane. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, a vital 4 points for the West Tigers, Wally.
The captain for the Broncos, Steve Walters, in for some running repairs. Looks to be a gash to the head. Well, this is the perfect start that coach Wayne Pearce was looking for from his side. Gee, the Broncos uncharacteristic on a few occasions in the first half, just handing over possession willy-nilly at times. So Wayne Bennett will have some stern words at half-time, no doubt, about ball possession. I don't think it's time to panic just yet. But it was so important for this joint venture side to show that they can be competitive from day one. So far, so good for the West Tigers as Kane tries to add the extra 2. The flags are up. He's having a great day, isn't he, Joel Kane? 14 points to 6.
Well, I've got to say, with the likes of Terry Hill out in the centres and Jared McCracken into the forwards, they bring a lot of experience. Here's this wonderful try. Craigfield ducks under here and able to keep the ball alive. That's the key there, and great support play there by Mark Stimson. But just saying, Jared McCracken and Terry Hill, they bring a lot of experience to the team. There's a lot of composure in this West Tigers team.
Walker runs it back. So Darren Centre will play it back to Hopewadi now. Well, now it's a simple turnover from the West Tigers, and the Brisbane Broncos at long last have pretty good field position. Can they nail a 4-pointer here? This is Walker. Walker thrown into the turf there. Solid tackle about 9 metres out. Philip Leah's at dummy half. He gives it to Webke. Webke takes on 2 or 3 of them. They stop him in his tracks a couple of metres out. To the short side they go now. This is De Vere. De Vere himself a former Campbelltown junior. Back on his own stamping ground, or his old stamping ground. Now they go wide, and Campion is there with Lockyer. That ball is knocked down. The tackle count should start again. Yes, it does. And Wendell Saylor has it. Now he loses it, and it's been scooped up by the West Tigers, so the Brisbane Broncos cough up possession just as the tackle count restarted. It's a nightmare out there for the Broncos. They just cannot complete a set of 6 in the second quarter of the match. Now this is Carlaw. 2-1 the errors, 6-3 completion rate. Look at that, the Tigers have had 16 sets. The Brisbane 15, but they've only completed 9. Now this is Scandalis, settling run. 5 metres inside the Broncos territory. And the West Tigers forwards doing the job. They've been able to pick up some early metres in the tackle count, and that's a great kick. It's all going the way of the West Tigers at the moment. And they lead 14-6.
Very well placed kick. Good thinking from Craig Field as well. He knew that he couldn't afford to give Brisbane too many more shots. They probably had only 2 left in the first half. He's got to minimise their opportunities. They've probably got this and maybe 2 or 3 rucks out of a following set of 6 left in this first half. They're the ones that have got the lead at the moment, the Tigers. They don't have to take chances at the moment.
Michael Hancock still inside their own 20. Now it's Tony Carroll. Tallis. Strong run from him. He's been pretty well contained so far, hasn't he, Gordon Tallis? That's the halfway mark. So it's important now for the West Tigers to hold the Broncos out so close to the half-time break. It's a knock on both ways.
Yeah, that's not smart play from the Broncos. Electing to run the short side. The ball travelling forward and give Tony Carroll too much chance of being able to control possession there. That'll end Brisbane's chances of being able to post further points in the first half. The Tigers now, they've got this complete set of 6. It surprised me to see just a couple of rucks used, and a high ball will create a little bit of panic just before the hooter.
Craigie plays it back to field, and now Shane Walker. That's the Shane Walker from the West Tigers. Field. Kicking. Hancock watching it bounce. Pushed from behind by Hopawati. So we have another look at it here. Was it across the line before it touched Hancock? No, it wasn't, but it's half-time anyway. So the West Tigers complete the first 40 minutes of football in the NRL. Successful so far. At half-time, it's the West Tigers leading the Brisbane Broncos by 14 points to 6. 2 tries to 1. Skandalis and Kane for the West Tigers. Campion got the early try for the Brisbane Broncos. So that's the half-time scoreline for you. 14 to 6. Campbelltown Sports Ground. Just after 7 p.m. local time. Lights just starting to take over. Terry Hill. So a fine opening half for his new club. The referee, Simpkins, signals time on. Can the West Tigers hold on? Can they go on and pick up a win in their debut match? And this is a fine start. This is Owen Craigie now. Dragged down from behind by Brad Thorne. Joel Kane is at fullback. Out to Shane Walker and Lowry. Jason Lowry, his front row partner. That's the halfway mark. Already inside Brisbane territory on the third tackle. Kane catching them napping from dummy half. Joel Kane, full back to beat. Kane running for the corner. What a try to Joel Kane. Great start to the second half. He cannot do a thing wrong. Joel Kane, only his 23rd first-grade match, but he's playing like he's had the #1 jersey on his back for years.
Well, any controversy about him being selected in the side has been buried for good. Magnificent performance from him, but you've got to give a lot of credit to the kickoff play. There he is, spotting a little bit of lazy defence from the markers of the Broncos. That doesn't happen a lot. One-on-one with Lockyer. It was bad news for the Broncos.
The West Tigers dominating particularly early in this first half. Darren Centre too, the #9, the hooker for the West Tigers, had a wonderful game and a quick play of the ball too. But Joel Kane, you're certainly right, Wally. He's answered any of his critics, and Wayne Pearce has done the right thing by picking him in the #1 jersey. Look at the Broncos, Greg. Their heads down.
18 to 6. Well, they were certainly caught napping around the play the ball area. We can see a couple of missed tackles.
That's just jersey grabbing, isn't it?
He's got a bit of pace too, Wally. Darren Lockyer is not slow, and his great acceleration from dummy half. But I go back to a great wrap.
Now here it is. This is what got them into trouble right from the start. The kickoff play. They're probably 2 or 3 players short. Wendell hanging back a bit too far from it, which caused the problem. Offload to Owen Craigie, and from there it was stress on the way for the Broncos. They'd reached the dummy at halfway mark after 2 rucks. You'll see Larry took it right on the halfway. That was going to be the problem for them. This kick, though, takes on plenty of significance for the match. It'll stretch the lead past 2 converted tries.
It's away to the left. He can't add the extras, but he's done the next best thing. He scored a try in the opening minutes of the second half. 18 points to 6, the West Tigers over the Broncos.
Greg, the thing that I'm impressed with also, Wally, the quick play the ball by Darren Centre. Both Broncos, you can see they're not communicating. One going left and one going right. Of course, Joel Kane picked that up and scored a magnificent try.
Kevin Campion, the man beaten.
But West Tigers, they aren't afraid to throw the ball wide in their own half.
And it's paying dividends at the moment. This is Larry. Jason Larry, Kerry International. And some of the more experienced forwards leading the way for the West Tigers, like Larry and Shane Walker. They've been impressive up front. McCracken, Stimson, and coming off the bench, Skandalis, and also O'Neill. So again, the Broncos starved of possession early in the second half. Ball in hand. They can hit back, no doubt about that. It's a long way to go for the West Tigers. They keep up this game plan. They'll be celebrating Campbelltown way and around Balmain, no doubt. 10 metres out from their own line, and Wendell Saylor crunched to the ground by McCracken. A good chase by the captain. Now it's Michael Hancock with nowhere to go. He runs into Walker and centre, and Lowry in front of the uprights. Britta's waiting for it at dummy half. Pedro Sivanasiva. This is Brad Thorne.
Right.
Got out of one. Got the ball back to nobody. Now it's picked up. And Eichen. Ben Walker, Campion. Tallis, he needs to do some running. Be fair to him though, he's been pretty well contained. Now it's Walker. And Kane, allowing it to bounce. And it's over the dead ball line. We'll come back to the 20 for a restart. The Broncos needing to force an error here on the West Tigers. Stimson, he's about 28 metres out from his own line. 20 is on there, Ken McGuinness. McCracken and Field to Walker. Walker allowed to get away from 2 or 3. Linking up with Terry Hill. He's thrown into the turf. Up on his feet, looking for a quick play of the ball. Simpson says he wasn't effectively held. Centre can't get away from Tallis. McCracken straight ahead. One of the Broncos will be called out for a high shot here.
Right,
it's
mate,
Prittis.
right down below the
He nods
shoulders.
ahead. He realises it was a bit too high.
It might be a good idea for the Tigers if they believe it's within their kicking range to try and stretch it. Craig Field deciding that's not their plan.
High shot there, Wally, and look, I think it's the way they're playing. Craig Field said, look, the way we're playing, we can score another try, so they're going to back themselves, Wally.
That's why he decided to kick the touch. 4 metres out from the line.
Here we go again with the West Tigers. They're on the prowl. Penalty.
Away from it. No, ball through it.
Gordon Tallis, the man that's been penalised there.
That's all right. I'm controlling that. I'm controlling.
So will they go for the 2 this time? They lead by 12 at the moment. Or will they back themselves for the 6 points? Yes, they will. Walker the double round with Field, bringing George Arliss in. Craigie unmarked over the here is Kevin McGuinness, but the cover defence got across and they throw it back on the inside. Owen Craigie. Desperate defence by the Brisbane Broncos. The West Tigers only a couple of metres out. Now Stimson wasn't expecting that one and he's knocked it on. Lack of communication there. Clearly Mark Stimson was running as the decoy. They threw the pass to him. He's disappointed.
Yeah, very difficult to blame Stimson there. Looked quite obvious that he was running through just to hold the Broncos defence quite tight at the line. Here's the original penalty. Tallis being penalised for shouldering, I think the referee called it at the time. There's the error. Oh, gee. Tough one.
Well, the Broncos inside their own 20. And this now is Hancock. Looking for their first points in the second half, the Broncos. In fact, they haven't scored since the 6th minute of the first half. Brittis, Tallis, running into the traffic. It's heavy traffic as well. Ten from halfway.
Look at that, Wally and Greg. There's always 2 or 3 West Tigers players. West Tigers having the lion's share of possession there. And of course, playing it down in the Broncos half.
John Carlaw, kick return. Kevin McGuinness loses it. Oh, he says knock back, so it's play on. Stimson cross-field. An easy target for the Broncos defence. Terry Hill. There's no way around them. One thing's for certain, Terry will try and go through them. Touch judge on.
Hey.
Well, this is becoming a real lack of discipline now for the Brisbane Broncos.
Walk away, Terry.
Oh.
Terry, walk away.
Has he got Terry?
Walk away. Walk away.
I think Webke's the man.
Tigers play was tackled.
Hey, come here.
It's not a truly tackle. Player here give him a pretty hard facial. Right, so his hands right in his face.
All right. He got the facial. Touchy Sawyer. Hands in the face. Keep them right out, okay? Hands in the face.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, sir, there's nothing. Facials aren't illegal, are they? You can get up and push a man's face. You can push his head. It's the reaction after that that should be penalised. If he's punched him, certainly he deserves to get it. But I think this is something the referee's got to clean up. Brisbane have been slowing down the Tigers' play far too much. And I think there's been a fair bit of vice versa going on. Clean it up, get the game going. It's been a very good game of footy. Let's see some playing.
There's nothing in that. It was a great penalty look by Terry Hill. He is a seasoned professional, no doubt about that.
7-2 to the home side.
The West Tigers on the scoreboard, leading Brisbane by 18 points to 6, and at centre linking up with Terry Hill. They're about 18 metres out from the line, the West Tigers. He's centre to Field. Field looking for runners out wide, and he picks up George Arliss back on the inside. Luckily, Field was there, and he has been everywhere today, Craig Field, no doubt about that. This is Scandalis, dragged to ground by Webke, and over the top came Tellis. Centre to McCracken. Jared will play it now. To the short side, centre. Final tackle coming up now. McGuinness, there's a little knock on there. Just a little too keen on that occasion to keep the pressure on. So the scrum will pack down.
I bet the Broncos are happy about that. The Tigers had Brisbane's defence. If they had shifted the ball to the left-hand side, which was obvious, the big prop, Mason Lowry, ready to shift the ball to the left-hand side.
Wally, what's the latest on John Hopewadi?
Well, apparently he's got an elbow injury. We've heard that he's got an elbow ligament problem, which isn't good news. And I don't think they'll be too upset about it, except for the bad news of the stretch of the ligament. Fairly handy replacement, Kenny McGuinness.
So it's the Brisbane Broncos now. And this is Michael Hancock. Penalty. Brisbane will love this.
I've got to say, Greg and Wally, that there's been quite a few errors by the West Tigers in this second half, and they can't afford to let Brisbane back into the game, because if any team can come from a 12-point deficit, it's the Broncos.
Brad Thorne. 10 penalties in the match, 7 of them going to the home side, the West Tigers. This is Campion to the halfway mark. Walker. Not able to stamp his authority on the match so far. Very distressed after that tackle as well. Took a solid knock there, Ben Walker.
Oof. I think you see where the knock came from. Watch the right. Make your own judgment.
He's copped a knee to the midriff. Well, you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. The referee has.
It will be an interesting decision. If Walker's a little bit too crook to continue, just who will take over as the playmaker for the Broncos. Perhaps they've got the option of bringing Philip Lee in a little bit closer. Shane Walker, of course, could come in. I don't think it'd be that bad an idea to bring Darren Lockyer.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, that's 2 for the game. Let's see how many more.
Ben Walker down at the moment. While you're saying about who's going to be the playmaker, Kevy Wallace has been very quiet in this second half, and like he is the man. He's sparked the Broncos so many times over the years gone by. So I'm sure the Broncos will be looking for, and Wayne Bennett for Kevy Wallace to start the catalyst for the Broncos.
Well, Kevy in the number 6 jersey, the captain, out there now, and with the ball. There's the kick from Walters, but Kane, perfectly positioned at fullback, takes it, and he can't get away from the tackle. That was Brad Thorne around the shoulders. Now this is Ken McGuinness. He's the replacement for John Hopewati. Darren Centre on the 30. Darren Smith, Stimson. 18-6, just the one try in the second half so far to Joel Kane for the West Tigers, and there's the kick downtown. They get a perfect bounce. The kicking game is working. It's all going the way of the West Tigers on debut in the NRL. They're claiming the 40-20.
A lot of speculation about Darren Centre. Would he be the West Tigers captain this year? Great kick there by Darren Centre, former Canterbury player, and they can do no wrong. But that was great initiative by the number 9.
So great field position for them as Craig Field feeds this scrum after the 40-20 kick, and Field across field. He gives it now to Owen Craigie, dancing. Got away from one Owen Craigie, but now he's wrapped up about 7 or 8 metres out. Good, strong, bullocking run. Kane at dummy half. Tyron Smith. He's driven back, though. Again, the Broncos' defensive line under pressure. This is Field, the playmaker, to Lowry. Lowry trying to fend his way through the tackle of Thorne. He can't do it on this occasion. Options either side. They work it to the right. That's Kevin McGuinness. Out to Terry Hill. Hill away from one. Hill switching the play. Lowry stepping straight ahead. They had some numbers to the left. Maybe a pass from Lowry was the best option. But they've still got it. And now a one-pointer to send them past the 12. No, it's away. It's away. They lead by 12. Field knows that. He was looking for a 13-point buffer to really sink another nail into the Brisbane Broncos. It's away to the right, though. That's the 30-metre mark now, as the Broncos just try and regroup. Saylor hasn't had too many opportunities on attack. Now this is Ben Eichen on debut. Harvey Howard back at Campbelltown in different colours. Gordon Tallis. Prentice. Philip Lee gives it to Tony Carroll. Prentice. Ben Eichen. Grab a kick. Was that a knock-on? Yes, it was, from Carlaw. So maybe that's the bounce that the Broncos were looking for. Just a change of luck there, possibly.
Well, a little bit of luck there for the Broncos. A little grubber going through by Ben Eichen. And, of course, the knock on there. But I must see the logic in Craigfield going for a field goal, but was it too early?
Well, I'm not really sure whether it's too early, Steve. I think it would be very mentally draining for the Broncos, and perhaps given his team a little bit of a psychological boost. That's what they've been playing on all day.
Walters. Well, he had Eichen alongside him, unmarked, but he couldn't get the pass away. Now it's Lockyer. They're a little flat-footed. Who's got something to spark this Brisbane Broncos attack? Philip Lee will take them on. Big defence there. And he's got them for a high shot.
Guess who?
Here they go, the Broncos. Tallis. Great tackle around the bootlaces though by Craig Field. And Ben Walker to Kevy Walters. And now Michael De Vea, 2-on-2. Calling Michael Hancock back on the inside. Hancock gives it back to Philip Lee. Lee charges into some pretty big defence again from Jason Larry. Now this is Hancock from dummy half. Back to Lee. Lee gets it to Kevin Walters. He's pulled down about 1 metre out from the line. The Broncos desperate for some points here. They dummy. They get very close. They're driven back into the field of play. Are they? No, they're held up. Held up over the line. Desperate stuff from the West Tigers defenders. And it's still 18-6.
Steve, I think that one may have been the wrong choice where to try and get over. Perhaps Luke Pritters saw a bigger gap in there than we saw, but there was some space out wide.
Wally, I think the Broncos were panicking a little bit there, close to the line, got excited. They had about 3 or 4 more tackles. And instead, I think Luke Pritters did take the wrong option. And of course, they've still got an opportunity though.
Yes, held up over the line, so they will get the feed into the scrum as we wait for some treatment to be carried out on one of the West Tigers players, Jason Larry. 13 hit-ups for the West Tigers. The left arm heavily strapped from previous injuries. Now holding the right.
Oh, yeah. This bloke's season campaigner. A real hard-nosed. He belts his way out game after game. Let's just hope that he's got no problem with the opposite hand.
Lockyer gives it to Eichen. Eichen slams it down on debut for the Brisbane Broncos, and it's a try, the one they've been looking for since the 6th minute when they scored their first try. And Ben Eichen, I think if he didn't get it down, there may have been probably room for a penalty try because he was held from behind without the ball.
Yeah, good call. The work was done perfectly by Darren Lockyer. He was the one that got in. Just have a look at the way Ben Walker put the ball in front of Lockyer. He got in, just dropped it in behind. Even before he saw Eichen, he really couldn't blame Craigie at all. He had to make some sort of attempt to drag him out of the way.
Well, great work here by Darren Lockyer. He put Owen Craigie in 2 minds, and of course able to offload the ball. Eichen, whose jersey was grabbed before he caught the ball, was able to find his way to the line.
So it's taken Ben Eichen a while to get into the Brisbane Broncos colours after a lot of speculation, problems with his previous club. But now he's on the score sheet officially. Timely try for the Broncos. Will this spark a comeback from them? 18 points to 10 with the kick to come from Ben Walker. He's 10 metres in from the broadcast touchline at Campbelltown. Under pressure, Walker raises the flags. And now it is time out for a drinks break as we have another look at the try that just might spark this comeback by the Brisbane Broncos.
Well, we see here, Wally, and Eichen going over, and I've got to go back to that field goal. Within 2 sets of that 6 after Craig Field going for that field goal. Lovely kick here by Ben Walker, cool, calm. Yeah. In those 2 sets of 6, the Broncos scored a try.
Yep. Yeah, it's worked out to be a very valid point. The 60-second break will be well appreciated by both teams. More so, I think, by the Broncos at the moment. It will have given their coach an opportunity to relay some messages out to the team. I think they're going to be fairly instrumental over the next 5 or 6 minutes in their play that you'll see. There won't be anything too flash in their own area of the field. They've got to make sure that they consolidate field position and kick and try and work the ball as far up the other end of the field as they possibly can. Perhaps create a little bit of doubt in the mind of their opponents.
So the drinks break around the halfway mark of the second half completed. And we're looking forward to a great finish here.
Greg and Wally, I would expect with the 20 minutes to go, we're going to see a little bit more of Wendell Saylor hanging around that ruck area because he can bust the line. He's done it before.
I think if Brisbane are smart, they'll start attacking the edge of the ruck. They found their opponents just too tough to crack up the middle so far. right on the edge of the ruck is where they're starting to have a little bit of success, and they found they had it in the first half that way.
Especially in these early rounds, playing a month earlier than usual. They're going to be tired around the fringes, no doubt about that. Of course, that applies to the West Tigers as well, because you can see that they've had the best part of the possession for most of this match, and the Broncos have had to defend solidly. They'll be feeling the pinch a bit as well. This is Philip Lee. Back to Kevin Walters. Webke turns, straightens up, runs into them, 9 metres inside West Tigers territory. Kevy kicking into the corner, needs it to sit up, and it's going to beat everybody over the dead ball line. So we come back to the 20.
Couldn't find the bunker on that occasion, could he?
This is a critical set of 6 for the Broncos to keep the West Tigers down there.
Well, Stimson has it, 29 metres out, he'll play it. Nabel is on there at dummy half, and this is Scandalis, and he's driven back 2 or 3 metres. Determined defence by the Broncos. It was Brad Thorne and also Tony Carroll. Mark O'Neill. Well, that was Mark Stimson, and again, I just think that he maybe wasn't expecting that. I think he may have been the decoy runner.
Yeah, it's a good point, Rick. I don't think that there was any reason why he should have turned him back inside. He was clearly going to be taken, covered by a defender. Shane Walker, the man for the Broncos, it would have been far easier just to do the things that have got them to be so successful so far. Give it to the big blokes, smashing it up on the edge of the ruck. The Walkers, McCrackens, Smith, those sort of guys, they've made territory for them all game long. Why change it?
Well, here's Wendell Saylor. They're on to him, 3 of them there to put him to ground. 29 metres out from the line, 18 points to 12. The West Tigers holding on against the Brisbane Broncos, but the Broncos starting to get into a gallop now. Prittis at dummy half to Shane Walker, and Kevy Walters picks up Ben Eichen. Lockyer's up from fullback. Lockyer, speculator over the back, picked up by Hancock. Hancock thrown into the turf. Terry Hill wrapped him up, ball and all. Walters to Lee. Shane Walker, Webke cutting back inside. That's on the 20. Good defence by the West Tigers. Prittis. Lockyer. Thought he spotted a gap, it soon closed though. Final tackle coming up. Penalty. Penalty. Well, this could be a turning point here. They had defended so well, the West Tigers, and now they give the Broncos another opportunity for a set of 6, and now it's going to be Thorne who's going to make them pay for it. Brad Thorne runs in and scores the try. He wants to have a look at it. Was it forward?
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I don't think it... Well, it didn't appear forward anyway. We'll have a look on the screen, we'll show it up. But I don't think their coach, Wayne Bennett, will be too amused with Brad Thorne's grounding of the football. He could have put it straight over the line. He elected to take on Joel Kane, I think, who came across, simply bumped him off and then put the football down. No, there's no problem at all. That ball's gone clearly backward. But just watch the way that he goes through here. He could have dived and put the ball down. He had no real reason to try and do it.
The green light is given, 18 points to 16. With the kick to come.
Then again, Stephen, I suppose you're 6'5" and you weigh 120 kilos. You can afford to feel confident.
I agree with you, though. It's not as if he was on the sideline trying to improve it. Here we see here, lovely little ball by Shane Walker. Brad Thorne through the gap. But you're right, Wally, you should put the ball down there. He was next to the post, but he could have chanced it, dropped the ball, and he could have foregone 6 points. But nevertheless, the Broncos are well and truly back in this game, Wally.
Yeah, neatly shuffled it out. A little bit of confusion in the Tigers' defence. Craig Field was the man that was left flat-footed. I think he was looking for somebody to start sliding, but when their attack is going straight down the field, it's very difficult to slide.
Well, Michael De Vere has taken over the kicking duties because Ben Walker is on the sidelines having a spell. So an important kick. De Vere raises the flags. We are locked up here at Campbelltown at 18 all. 18 all, the West Tigers and the Brisbane Broncos. After the West Tigers at one stage, they're 18 points to 6. So 2 converted tries, allowing the Broncos back into it. 64th minute.
Well, there's going to be responsibility shuffled around a little bit here from Brisbane. The crowd rising to their feet. Forget about the merged clubs. This is one at the moment. Brisbane have got to make sure that their skipper reminds all of the players what's going on. Kevy will take over the kicking game, or should take over the kicking game from Ben Walker now. They've got to play this next few minutes very positionally.
Webke. And who's got the most petrol in the tank? Penalty.
Hey!
Penalty here.
This could go against Brisbane now.
Come here, Jared. Okay, we've got that. It's all right, I've got it. Listen to me. The hand's on the ball. Yeah. Okay, one over there as well that I'll let run. Okay, there's too much of it in the ruck. They've got to clear the rucks, okay? Both sides. Tell them to clear it, all right? Hands on the ball, same as the one down there, all right? We'll have 8. You had the penalty, the hands on the ball, give them the penalty, no need for you to retaliate. Same again, in the rucks, we're going to clean it up, all right?
And Wayne Bennett breathes easier. Greg, after that one, I thought the referee may have changed that.
Well, I don't think he could have changed the penalty, but he could have sent Webke to the sin bin for 10 minutes.
He's got the wrong bloke.
Well, now it's the Broncos with good field position again. And Thorne, the last try scorer, makes it to the 30. Inspirational stuff from Big Brad Thorne for the Broncos. Lee looked for support. It was a late arriving. Now they're 20 metres out from the line. And it's 18 all. Tallis. 10 from the West Tigers try line. Lockyer. We got it back to the number 18 in Sean Berrigan. Kevin Walters. Out wide they go. Tony Carroll. Over the top. Saylor couldn't bring it down. It was too high for even Wendell Saylor.
I think they got a little bit greedy there. All they had to do was drop the ball in behind the line.
Got to give John Carlaw a great rap there.
Came in off his wing.
Saved a certain try.
Nable running from dummy half. Taken by Berrigan. This is McCracken. Field. Good kick, sending Wendell Saylor right back to the end goal to pick this one up. Field the first of the chasers, but Saylor got away from him. He can't get away from Tyron Smith.
And problems for the Broncos. Kevin Walters limps from the far side of the field. He doesn't look like he's going to take too much part.
Lottie Takiri is on there as well. Some fresh legs for the Broncos. This is Tony Carroll. Thrown into the turf there by Scandalis.
Shane Walker, I think it is, that's been called for the shot over the top.
Spot him here.
A little bit unfortunate. But Greg, it came at the wrong time because that was the 5th tackle for Brisbane and they didn't look like they had any organisation. The previous 2 rucks had gone nowhere.
And I've got to say, here we see again Shane Walker high. I was saying with 13 minutes to go, the side that makes the mistakes now, it's critical between now and full time, will lose this game. They can't afford to make any more mistakes for West Tigers.
Well, here's Thorne now as the penalties are all square now, 7 apiece. Webke allowed to offload, got it back to Prittis. Prittis chased by McCracken, caught by McCracken and also centre. Lee, Tallis leaks up with the support and they're in again. Luke Prittis has scored a try. And they're in front again, the Brisbane Broncos, 22 points to 18. Brisbane over the West Tigers. So 3 unanswered tries now by the Brisbane Broncos. Have they run out of gas, the West Tigers?
Well, we've been praising the Tigers' defence all game long, particularly Steve Mortimer, mentioning how they'd managed to contain one man, the Raging Bull. He got an opportunity to attack a short ball from Philip Lee. You just can't heap enough praise on this bloke. Plenty of support play coming back from Luke Prittis. Difficult to stop the big fella, too.
And Wally, you've called it right. Gordon Tallis hanging on just the edge of the ruck. That's where the damage is going to be done. Pushes off quite a number of players. Great support there by the Broncos. They're on a roll now with 10 minutes, a little bit over 10 minutes to go.
Luke Prittis, still 22 years of age. Started first grade as a teenager. He was with the Canberra club. Michael DeVere, he was a Campbelltown junior, a West boy. The flags go up from almost point-blank range. Gordon Tallis, he earns himself a breather. 24-18.
Well, lovely ball. Terry Hill finding it impossible. He had about 3 men to mark up on that occasion. Brisbane's numbers were impossible to match. Unusual to see Tallis go to the sideline, but I guess Wayne Bennett is saying we'll give him a couple of minutes before we bring him back. We need his experience. But they're gonna, well, they have to play chess, the Broncos, from here. They've just got to make sure no mistakes come in.
Wally, could I suggest when the Broncos are down in the mag and in the West Tigers half, Tallis will certainly come on. Great runner of the game, of the ball.
And that's the beauty of the interchange, of course, as Sivanasiva plays it. This is Campion, about 22 metres out from his own line. Saylor getting involved, and that can be a good move too. Prittis, the try scorer, got away from Craig Field. Webke. Charged down by centre. Picked up by Smith. Great work down in centre. Smith not effectively held. Still going. Tyrant Smith, he's about 11 metres out from the line. They're not done with yet. 24-18 they're down. This is Darren Centre. He's 5 or 6 metres out from the line. Now it's Jason Lowry. Lowry has a go on his own. Driven back. The Broncos regroup, but it's the West Tigers. And Joel Kane goes straight through. He's got a double. They're on their feet at Campbelltown again. 24-22 with the kick to come. It was Joel Kane that couldn't control Gordon Tallis at the other end when he set up the try for Prittis. And now Kane hits back with his second try in the match.
And it came via mistakes. We just mentioned that Brisbane had to control it. They didn't. It was a magnificent chase from marker from Darren Centre. You can argue all you like about him being offside. The try's on the board. Brisbane were complaining that the referee had called held. The referee didn't think he did. A little bit too hard for Shane Walker. He just couldn't plug the gap well enough. Well, a new recruit, Turv, to this club, Joel Kane, former Balmain boy.
And I've got to apologise to him as well. As I look down on the sheet, he'd had 2 tries beside his name. We have to add that one as well, so it's a hat-trick for the number 1.
Well, you'd call it a debut, like for the newly joint venture in western suburbs in Balmain. He certainly, Wally, as we watch him line up this kick, has cemented his spot as the number 1 fullback for the West Tigers.
And I think you can pay a lot of credit to this try being scored. The charge down happened because their defence was so good on the previous 2 tackles. The Broncos had actually gone backwards 3 metres.
What a kick. A hat-trick of tries. And he's done it. Pressure kick from Joel Kane. He's been like a one-man scoring machine out there today for West Tigers, and it's 24-all.
Great ball here by Craig Field. Just times his pass well. Kane's through the gap there, but I agree with Wally Lewis. Go back to Darren Centre, charging that ball down, and that great run by Tyrant Smith. We've got a game on our hands, boys.
Great stuff to open the season here at Campbelltown. Round 1 in the NRL. We hope you're enjoying the action. That's the 20-metre mark and big defence from the Broncos. The fans not happy with that tackle. The trainer on the field saying, we need to blow it up here, ref. Seven minutes to go. Another look at it here. Oh, Carroll coming in. Crowd thought it was high. Carroll, body language says it was okay, but it did bounce up. We've seen a penalty or two for that already in the match.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that it made contact with his chin. Like it bounced off the shoulder first.
There's a lot worse than that that's been let go in this game.
Oh.
Today. Wally, what do you do here? You've got 5 tackles now. Get it up the other end. Nothing fancy. Put Craig Field in a position where he can pot a field goal.
Yeah, well, they can't afford to take any chances here, Steve. They're not the ones down the other end of the field. They've got to try and work the field position. Use the forwards. This bloke's one of them. Just to gain field position. You never know, you get a bloke like Craig Field, just as likely to chip kick.
Here's Field with the kick downtown. Wendell Saylor. Taken there by Mark O'Neill. Petro Sivanasiva. Prentice up towards halfway.
It's very important for the West Tigers to keep the Broncos round about halfway so they can't slip for the field goal.
They put it through the hands of the Broncos. There's a forward pass there. A great opportunity for the West Tigers now. They can certainly get into a position into field goal range to try and snatch this one. Broncos just trying to put it through the hands and get it out wide. One of the players overrunning the ball.
Oh, it's not good discipline. You realise that all you've got to try and do with 5 minutes to go is work for field position. You don't have to come up with anything fancy. 5 rucks up the middle of the territory will get you as much as you want. Field goal attempt coming up. I think you can assure yourself of that.
Well, you'd think the West Tigers will use their full set of 6 to go near that post, particularly tackles 4 and 5 getting towards the post.
Field, Scandalis. Straight into Sivanasiva on the 30, centre field. Now, it's Nable. Adam Nable, 22 metres out from the line.
Here it comes.
Now it's going to be in behind the line, the grubber kick, and it's been picked up there by the Broncos. It was like a slips fieldsman. And so it's going to be Berrigan to play it. Tallis has had a breather. He's back out there again. 10 from halfway. Webke. The hits are still big, they're still solid by the West Tigers. Good work now by the Broncos, back on the inside, they've put it down, it's a knock on. It's play on, and McGuinness has it. Half a judge goes begging for the Broncos. Now it's Kane. He must be a contender for man of the match in round 1 with 3 tries for West Tigers. Lowry hasn't stopped trying all day. He's 12 from halfway. Can someone make a clean break? Can somebody get within field goal range with a couple of tackles remaining? That's the halfway mark. Scandalis. The Broncos cannot afford to give away a penalty. Now it's Owen Craigie. Craigie. That's gone forward. It's gone forward.
Gee, a little bit of ill discipline from both sides there. I must admit, I was very surprised to see the Tigers attack the left-hand side of the field. I thought they only had 2 tackles to be able to come up with some territory and an attempt at a one-pointer. Up the middle would have been a more sensible option. Perhaps they may have been following a game plan a little bit better.
Shane Walker. This is Berrigan. Next week, Brisbane take on the Parramatta Eels at Parramatta Stadium, and the West Tigers have a home game at Leichhardt taking on the Auckland Warriors.
Very important here that the West Tigers marker and second marker.
There's a knock on. Dummy half.
Another mistake, Molly.
Now, what do you put it down to? Fatigue? Panic?
Well, I think the replay will tell the story.
Well, what was wrong with that?
Perhaps another.
So scrum backs down, it's Craig Field. And now Terry Hill, taken by Lockyer. But that's the halfway mark. Another quick look at it here. What's the problem with this? Oh, there it is there. The knock on before he got the foot to it.
After the hand.
So it's Lowry. Can they work to field goal range and get off to a winning start? That's the 40. Skandalis.
Field's moving in nice and close now.
To Field. Now again they kick down deep. And Lockyer will pick it up. Lockyer. 10 out. De Vere. 12 out from the line. Hancock. Michael Hancock over the top to Wendell Sailor. It's into touch. 90 seconds to go. The pass was not a good one to Wendell Sailor. Wendell glanced back in field as if to say, what was that?
Well, Greg, this gives the West Tigers a great opportunity. They don't want to panic. They've got over a minute of play left. That'll get you a set of 6. So they don't want to panic. Hang around the goals area.
George Charles. Last throw of the dice maybe for the West Tigers. Will they go for one? Craigie. Crossfield goes Owen Craigie. Out to Terry Hill. Hill wrapped up 10 metres out from the line. 24 all at Campbelltown. At one stage, the West Tigers were leading 18-6. Now it's Field to McGuinness. Back to Hill. Over the top. Craigie. Craigie.
Well, have a look at a couple of players there in position for a field goal.
Kevin McGuinness is back there, but instead it's Adam Nabel. He puts it on the toe. Getting back there, the Broncos take it in the in goal, and they will take plenty of time for the restart.
That's the game, but I really can't understand the option of not taking a shot for a drop goal there.
Wasted opportunities for a one-pointer. Lottie Takiri, and it's all over. It is all over at Campbelltown. At half-time, it was the West Tigers that led 14-6. Then they led 18 points to 6. The Broncos came back with 3 tries, locking it all up. 24 all with that third try to Kane. And at full time here, the West Tigers in Brisbane in round 1 finish at 24 all.